Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Minute Video Study for the NCE. Today we are in the clinical focus and we are going to be talking about subcategory S, developmental processes, tasks, and issues. So this is a big topic whenever we're talking about developmental issues. We're looking at different categories and subcategories. You might hear physical milestones, cognitive milestones, you might hear social emotional milestones, and you might also hear communication milestones. So, all of those deal with the development of a person. It can usually deal with children, but again, not always, because development is a lifespan, and although um, early childhood milestones are very common, there are also adult milestones that also need to be taken into consideration. So keep those in mind. Also, understand that cognitive development is throughout your life. It's not just during childhood, but it's a lifespan. Um, it's also important to understand that there can be developmental challenges. In most with most of those challenges, you usually start to see them either in early childhood, but there are some where you see them in early adulthood as well. Also, keep in mind emotional development in this society, because of like academic pressures and academic success. There's a lot of talk about like early developmental learning delays or learning difficulties or things like that. But the other big thing is the emotional and the social emotional learning component of an individual. Also, language acquisition. They're not just their native language, but a person could be bilingual, trilingual. The other thing about development is the moral reasoning. When you ask them when you ask a person what is right or what is wrong, are they black and white thinking? Are they looking at kind of fairness? Are they looking at the complexities of the issues? What type of moral reasoning do they abide by? And then the other thing to consider is the motor skills development. Can they hold a pencil? Are they able to tie their shoes? Are they able to get dressed? A lot of those um, developmental milestones are certainly important for autonomy. And then personality development. Looking at the different personality characteristics, different types, and how a person's personality could kind of change throughout their lifespan. Also, the notion of self awareness and self concept. I think it's important when are talking about development. What would you say you think about yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you see yourself as a positive or a negative? Do you find that you can describe positive traits about yourself? A lot of that has to do with that self awareness and that self concept, and then also the cultural and social influences of development. I think are very important. What are the cultural norms? What are Did you grow up in a multifaceted, multicultural society, or did you just grow up with one main culture, which you've accepted as the only culture that you're familiar with? So a lot of those are important developmental issues that you should be aware of, as well as things like prenatal development, early childhood development, middle childhood development, adolescence development, early adulthood development, middle adulthood, and then the older adulthood development. So that's kind of going back to the Eric Erickson's model and looking at the different stages. So those are some things that please be aware of.